Britain's a Christian country.
Is it based on Christian values?
Yeah.
LGBTQ, what did God do to people who are homosexuals? Right. So
Same with
do
you
we
guys, right?
so
Yeah.
do we want Christian values and Jewish values implemented in Britain? All LGBTQ people will say we don't want Christianity here.
Slow down.
Of an actual infinite is impossible in the real world. That tells us that we can take the idea of an infinite universe and throw it out the window. You have a third option. The third option is...
I thought that was applying to time. I'm confused now.
Yeah, it is applying.
I thought you were explaining that
All of
time
this
is
is
stretched back
this
without a
is
start.
Yeah, all of this is applying to time and causes and effects.
So time didn't have a start. Is that what you're...
If you claim the universe is infinite, time doesn't have a start.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And so time has to have a start.
So time has to have a start.
Via your
Causes-
example. So there must have been one initial cause.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's the only way around
Okay.
this. The third one is I don't care, I don't want to know.
Magic.
But we don't want to. I think you and we're reasonable enough to realise that
Keep
there's
laying
an
it.
answer.
Keep laying it on.
Laying it on this
So
follows.
we've got the time starting.
So therefore,
Place.
exactly.
The universe can't be infinite.
So therefore, the thing that brought everything into existence has to be eternal. That's the only solution out of this conundrum.
Because
Otherwise, there's an actual.
we can't have infinity
Exactly.
in our universe.
Actual
So
infinity.
there must be an infinity outside.
There must be not infinity. There must be an eternal
An
cause.
eternal nature.
Yeah.
Right.
And this eternal cause has to have certain attributes. Because there's nothing, and tell me if you disagree with this, I think it's obvious and a priori. There's nothing in existence except that it must be qualified of attributes.
There's nothing in existence
There's
that
no-
isn't qualified by attributes.
Exactly.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
Meaning, like
Everything.
a tree has bark,
A
Everything
tree
has
exists.
attributes.
A tree has the attribute of...
but a god has no attributes.
No,
no.
God
Oh,
has to
right.
have attributes.
Okay,
Everything.
Yeah, no. God, the cause that brought the universe into existence, necessarily has to have an attribute because it exists.
What's the attribute?
We'll come to that.
Great.
Right?
Great.
That's the big punchline, right?
Okay. All right.
But firstly, let's talk about the creation that's brought about by the cause.
Okay.
The
Big
creation exhibits obvious attributes, right?
Bang. Yes. Heat,
Time,
speed,
precisely,
everything.
right? So if that's true for the things that are dependent upon the cause, it must necessarily be true that the cause has to have attributes in order to bring things into existence that exhibit attributes.
Not you again.
Yes, obviously.
So one of the obvious attributes of the cause has to be the following. That it has to have a certain level of power. Because a thing...
As in the source of the creation, not the creation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the source of the creation has to have the attribute of power. Because a powerless thing is as good as nothing. Make sense so
Yes.
far?
Yes. You need to have something to
To
get
give
something.
it. Yeah, exactly. Like the Arabs say, right? You've got to have something to give it. Right? Yeah. So you have that, the attribute of power. You have to have, this thing has to have the attribute of knowledge. Why?
Because it's a perfect world.
Precisely. Nail on the head, right? At the beginning of this universe, they're telling us that there were 4 fundamental constants that needed to be there in order for the universe to come about from a point of relative chaos to a point of relative harmony. Right?
Like,
The 4 constants being gravitation, electromagnetism, and the 2 nuclear forces, the weak and the strong. Finely tuned, they say. Right?
look at us.
Yeah, look at us. Beautiful creation, having the ability to think at the abstract level, such that we look into the world and we find things like the Fibonacci sequence, the golden rules,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
It's incredible. So the world is exhibiting a certain level of precision and mathematics that we as human beings,
Can apply to everything around us.
that we firstly figured out, and then we apply it to the world around us.
And then we get philosophical.
And then we're in a position to recognize that if things have attributes, the cause must have attributes of an umpteenth level. So it must have been far more powerful than anything in creation. And it must have been more knowledgeable than anything in creation. There couldn't have been anything in creation that can be more knowledgeable than the source that brought the creation to existence. So we have now 2 attributes, power and knowledge. This thing also has to have volition, a will. because it chose to bring the universe into existence. Suddenly it's sounding like this thing is alive. Because only a thing that is alive and has a certain level of what we might call personhood has these attributes. This thing has to determine through its knowledge how much of these fundamental forces require
This is where God's image comes from.
This is how the Muslims have this firm belief that the source of all things has to be alive and exhibit attributes of an umpteenth level. So in the Quran, when God says, "Or were they created by nothing, or did they create themselves?" Check it. Don't just throw it away. Just think about it.
He's agreeing.
Right? Were they created by nothing, or did they create themselves, or were they the creators of the heavens and the earth, meaning the universe?
Who are you talking about? People?
Just people in general, but a specific group of people. It says
The idea being that this is right. Gotcha.
Yeah. They have no certainty. They have no certainty of knowledge. It's talking about those people who deny the existence of a God, deny the existence of a source. If they deny it, they have to face up to these three imponderables. Number one, nothing brought about something. Number two, we were the cause of the universe. Number three, we were the cause of ourselves. Number three, we brought the universe about. All three are nonsensical. The only other solution is, as God says in the Quran, أَفِي اللَّهِ شَكْ. Is there any doubt in the originator of the universe? So logically and rationally, the Muslims have this firm belief.
I'm with you. Wait, I'm with you. I struggle at it being a guy, like a person. The capital H, he. Why is he not a ball of light or nothing or
Whatever it might be,
right?
whatever this source
It's
might
there.
be, it cannot be denied that this source, its attributes, are as I've described it, and that these attributes can only be understood by way of personhood. Like I said, I'm not asking you to make a paradigm shift outside of your rationale to nonsensical things that are unknown. I'm asking you to confine.
No, you've given me a nice argument, so I don't think I can.
I personally, and we Muslims, we would say that this argument is irrefutable. It's natural.
Concrete.
It's something that will affect
Sounds like
your
the
heart.
same as the Christians as well.
Yeah, to a certain extent, but I would say that the Quran brings an argument with evidences within the Quran that you won't find in the Bible.
Okay. But that's extremely helpful.
Yeah, I hope so. And so now ask yourself the question, what's our purpose in life then? If we now recognize that there's a source out there that brought us about, right? Should we not be thankful to that source? You have a mother and father, right?
Can he hear us? I don't.
Very good question. Ask yourself, the one that brought the universe into existence, the fact that we hear things, the fact that we see things.
Just to answer this question, in fact, the Quran, which we say is the guidance from this source, exactly says, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. There's nothing like unto this being, and yet he is all-hearing. Answering your question, can you hear us? And all-seeing. So yes, even though you cannot comprehend him, there's nothing like him.
All-seeing, all-knowing. He sees you and I right now.
Think about
So he sees and hears everything. That's his attribute. Even though his attribute is not like us, unlike anything that you can imagine, but he has positive attributes. Describes attributes having love and will and power and knowledge and all of these things. And that's how we know and can relate to this creator, this originator, because he created us, he's the creator. He originated us, he's the originator. And because he's done all of these things, he deserves our gratitude. And that relationship between the creation and the creator of being grateful is the essence of worship. When we say we worship, we are total and subservient to, and we listen and submit and surrender to what you have to say, because you are the ones who gave us life.
Make sense so far?
Yeah.
Appealing. So do you now appreciate why the Muslims, they wake up in the morning?
Well,
they
I'm
pray
thinking of
5
it from
times a day.
a Christian point of view, but I really appreciate that.
Look, just very quickly in regards to the Christian point of view, because this is very important.
Yeah, please.
Because there are religions out there that say that religion is like the ocean, like the streams that come together and merge into the ocean. Meaning that no matter what religion you choose, it will lead to the truth.
What about the Anakai? You know them?
Well, yeah. What about the worshippers of the devil?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
The point here being that if we have a purpose in life, it stems from our recognition of the source outside of ourselves. And this source, again, there are certain qualities of it that we can recognize and appreciate that the creation cannot have. So for instance, the creation will always be dependent upon the creator. The creator will never be dependent upon the creation.
Right.
If we as human beings recognize that as an obvious attribute of God, that he is the necessary, not the contingent, nothing from creation deserves worship. Nothing in creation deserves adoration. Thank you for bringing me into existence. Jesus, Muhammad, Waheguru,
Well, Jesus, no,
Krishna,
because he is God.
Parvati, Saraswati, anything from creation. What's your name? Archie, Hamza, Mansoor.
Nice to meet
Mansoor,
you.
Hamza, Archie.
Nice to meet you. Archie, if we recognize that creation as a whole is dependent upon the creator, nothing in creation is worthy of being thanked because it is just as fallible and weak as Archie, Hamza and Mansoor.
What about, isn't Jesus God though?
No.
See, I believe he is.
You see, this is where we think we try and use our rationale and we try and determine what makes Jesus God.
No, I'm not.
No,
I
no,
wouldn't
no,
like
no,
to-
no, no.
I-
We don't need to go into there.
Okay.
But if you ask a Christian, can Jesus exist by himself if the Father did not exist? And you'll see how the Christian, every single Christian in this world, will struggle to answer. The reason why? Because Christ, or Jesus
But is
Christ,
God eternal?
Jesus Christ is contingent or dependent on the Father begetting him. So if the
this-
Father
this
did
is
not
about what you
beget,
said, the worshipping. Okay.
if the Father did
No,
not
that's fair
beget
enough.
Jesus, Jesus
That's
would not
fair enough.
exist.
That's fair enough to the worship thing.
Yeah. I mean, think about it like this, Archie. If that's
I mean,
true,
by your argument though, so I'll have to think about
no,
it.
think about it.
Yeah.
Because look, Jesus, whilst he was on this earth, exhibited exactly the qualities that any fallible human being would necessarily. He didn't
did.
know the hour. He says that I only do things according to my Father's will. What's the Lord's prayer? I mean, if that's not an evidence that Jesus is subordinate to the Creator, I don't know what is. Our Father.
No, I agreed with you from Mince's point. But no, that's a good.
So here's another thing. What makes Islam so attractive is its consistency of narrative. All the prophets and messengers came to teach exactly the same message. It wasn't this idea that the children of Israel believed it was blasphemy that God should incarnate in the form of a man, whether it be Baal or anyone else.
I just don't find Islam very attractive as a religion.
Maybe because you haven't thought about what Islam teaches in itself. You've only seen practices of certain Muslims who are negatively portraying, and that gives you an impression
also-
like,
I grew up in this country and-
bad Muslims, so Islam must be bad. Yeah?
Britain's a Christian country.
Is it based on Christian values?
Yeah.
So when in Christian teaching, when a woman is married, she cannot get divorced unless it's adultery. Is that based on Christian value in this country? So are you saying we want Christianity in terms of divorce laws implemented? Then they will leave Christianity or they will leave Britain.
Yeah, that's tricky.
Yeah?
It's tricky.
LGBTQ. What did God do to people who are homosexuals? Right. So
Same with
do
you
we
guys, right?
so do we want Christian values and Jewish values implemented in Britain? All LGBTQ people will say we don't want Christianity here.
Slow down. I'm happy you got me with the God thing. This is great. This is great for my brain.
Do you know one of the attributes of God is al-Wadud,
Meaning,
the all-loving?
yeah.
So if Islam was about, as you might perceive, as a religion that
Whoa! I'm trying to wrap up.
No problem. I mean, maybe there's a
I'm-
bit of homework for you to go
I'm
away
very
and
pleased
and
with
look at as well.
the God chat. That was very helpful.
No worries.
And I feel better because of it. Munsa Hamza.
Dude, if you have any other questions, we're here every Sunday, as you might know.
I love your articulation. It's great.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, that might be a reason for you to come back and ask
Great.
us some more
Good-
questions, right?
Good chat.
Yeah, no worries.
You take care.
If a good dialogue. Oh,
And we enjoy, guys. Thank you.
Pleasure speaking to you.
all right.
take
Okay.
care.
Well, I'm stuck in the middle now.
Yeah,
It's
go
great.
for it. No, give him
Right.
part the way.
Speak to you again.
Noah did, Moses did. Archie, all the best, mate.
It's okay. People who are sincere, people who have open hearts to know and seek and to accept the truth are the ones Allah, our Creator, will guide. So what we all expect and hope that people who understand and appreciate and see the truth within Islam, they open up their hearts and accept it by their own free will. And this is what we are saying. To become a Muslim has to be done with all sincerity and all your own volition, your free will. It cannot be coerced. It cannot be forced and pushed on someone's throat. It has to be an individual choice. And that's what we have given this gentleman, Archie. Let's hope that he utilizes this opportunity and saves himself from the hellfire, because hellfire is a reality. It's not a joke that we are here in this world living our life as we please, but there's a purpose in our life. Whether we are actually successful in our purpose determines our outcome in the hereafter. And hereafter is a reality, which is the final abode. But we don't want to make that abode in a place of torment and suffering in hellfire. We want to be in paradise, in Jannah, in heaven. But to go there, you not only have to have this recognition of the truth that we've seen within this gentleman Archie, but we will have to have the internal recognition expressed through articulation with the tongue that yes, indeed, there is no one worthy of worship except you. And yes, indeed, we accept your will expressed through the final messenger, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Only then you'll be able to then articulate this faith from your heart to your tongue, in your limbs, in your actions. And when you do this and you live your life accordingly, and you die on that state of submission and surrender to God, which is Islam, then you have the key to paradise, the mercy that God so promises every people who are believers.